Hey guys, so the new Two Forgotten Realms book, Heroes of Faerun and Adventures in Faerun, came out for early access this week, and I've been going over the subclasses. Yesterday I went over the Scion of the Three Rogue, and today I'm going over the Oath of the Noble Genies Paladin. If you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Warners. I make D&D content on this YouTube channel, but I also make 2024 rules compatible PDFs, and I tend to come out with a subclass every month. This month I came out with the Path of the Executioner Barbarian, and down below in the description I have a link to my Patreon where you can check out that subclass as well as my other subclasses that I've made. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and go into the subclass. Alright, so we have this wonderful art, Oath of the Noble Genies Paladin. This Paladin I did make a video on initially when it was in the playtest. My initial thoughts on it are that I thought the name and theme was kind of odd, but it's such a powerful subclass and I feel like it's very easy to reflavor some of its abilities that I still really like the subclass, even the playtest version. If anything, I was a little worried that it was a bit too strong, and they did tone it down a bit, so that's nice. So it says, Oath of the Noble Genies Paladin, brandish the elemental splendor of genies. Paladin sworn to the oath of Noble Genies, revere the forces of the elemental planes. Through taking this oath, Paladins draw power from the 4 different types of genies: Tao, Masters of Earth; Djinn, Masters of Air; Efreet, Masters of Fire; and Madrid's Master of Water. In Faerun, many paladins who swear this oath hail from Kalimshan, a land teeming with genies. Also, if you guys don't know, in the Adventures in Faerun book, they really expanded on Kalimshan a lot. There's a lot of information that haven't been in previous books. If you don't know, it's kind of a deserty, kind of Arabia vibes place. Pretty cool. And so I feel like that's part of the reason why they added this subclass. Anyway, paladins who swear this oath often undertake quests to take them all over the realms and across the multiverse, including the elemental planes. These paladins share the following tenets: sow the seeds of creation amid the ashes of destruction. Lead with splendor and grace. Respect the elements and fear their wrath. Yeah, I feel like this could easily just be a primordial paladin. This paladin I feel like will be very popular. Let's go ahead and go over the first 3rd level ability, Elemental Smite. So immediately after you cast Divine Smite, you can expend 1 use of your Channel Divinity and evoke one of the following effects. Tao's Crush is surprisingly unchanged. This is the most powerful ability in my opinion out of all 4 of these, and I really like it. So Earth rises up around the target of your Divine Smite. The target has the grappled condition, escape DC equal to your spell save DC. While grappled, the target has the restrained condition. And just for clarification, a creature can grapple another creature. Characters typically grapple by using an unarmed strike. Many monsters have special attacks that allow them to quickly grab prey, blah 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 blah. Grappled condition: successfully grappling a creature gives it the grappled condition. 1 grapple per hand. A creature must have a hand free to grapple another creature. Some stat blocks and game effects allow a creature to grapple using a tentacle, a maw, or another body part. It seems in this case it is the ground. So I feel like in this case it's not very specific. Since the earth rises up around the target, you could technically walk away from the target and it's still grappled. I'm not sure if that's the case. Actually, yeah, that definitely is the case, because normally the grappling escape DC, it says right here, ending a grappled creature can use its action to make a strength, athletics, or dexterity or acrobatics check against the grappler's escape DC, ending the condition on itself on a success. The condition also ends if the grappler has the incapacitated condition, or if the distance between the grapple target and the grappler exceeds the grapple's range. In addition, the grappler can release target at any time, no action required. So that was the grappling rules, but then grappled condition. While you have the grappled condition, you experience the following effect. Your speed is 0 and you can't increase. Attacks affected, you have disadvantage on attack rolls against any target other than the grappler. Movable, the grappler can drag or carry you when it moves, but every foot of movement costs 1 extra foot unless you are tiny or 2 or more sizes smaller than it. And then how restrained is different is attack rolls against you have advantage and your attack rolls have disadvantage, and then you also have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. So restrained condition just adds more effects that grappled normally doesn't have. But yeah, I'm curious. I feel like this is very DM dependent on how they'll rule this. It says earth rises up around the target, and then it's specifically the escape DC equals your spell save DC, where I feel like normally it'd be based on your strength score. So if I was the DM, I would rule this as you are magically grappling them with the earth, so you could technically walk away from them and they would still be grappled and restrained. until they escape the spell save DC. So that's interesting. Then we have Djinn's Escape. You teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 30 feet of yourself and take on a semi-incorporeal form, which lasts until the end of your next turn. While in this form, you have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, and you have immunity to the grappled, prone, and restrained condition. Really, really good ability. This is basically a ultimate defensive mode ability, and I think that's really cool. Then we have Efreet's Fury. This one is very different from the playtest. In the playtest, you just did extra fire damage, but this says the target of your Divine Smite takes an extra 2d4 fire damage, and the fire jumps from the target to another creature you can see within 30 feet of yourself. The second creature also takes 2d4 fire damage. So it is different, and it does do a secondary thing, which is cool, but it isn't really that big of a deal. It's basically like Green Flame Blade, but only 2d4. So yeah, it's just okay. I feel like this will be the least used option. Then we have Madrid's Surge. The target of your Divine Smite and each creature of your choice in a 10-foot emanation originating from you makes a strength saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, a creature is pushed 15 feet straight away from you and has the prone condition. So yeah, big AoE push and proning. I really like this ability. Definitely be very useful, especially if you have a lot of melee combatants in your party. And you'll also benefit, of course, being a paladin. One thing I forgot to mention about Dao's Crush is the target automatically is grappled and restrained. They don't have to fail a saving throw, so it just automatically happens, and that makes it even stronger. All right, then we have the Genie spells. This is a really good spell list, and I'm pretty sure it's completely unchanged from the playtest. We have Chromatic Orb, Elementalism, which is a cantrip, Thunderous Smite. We have Mirror Image, which I love Mirror Image. I have a video going over the top 10 most improved second level spells with the new rules, and Mirror Image is on there. It's way better than it used to be, so this is real nice to have on a paladin. Phantasmal Force is just okay. We have Fly, which is very good, and Gaseous Form. We have Conjure Minor Elementals, which has been nerfed for the better, and I think it'll still be pretty useful on a paladin. And we have Summon Elemental. Summon Elemental is a pretty good summon spell. Paladins don't get access to any summon spells anyway, so it's nice to have this. Then we get Banishing Smite, which is pretty good, and then we get Contact Other Planes. So yeah, all very flavorful abilities, all very good spells. So yeah, very, very hype spell list. Level 3. This is still all level 3, by the way. So we have Genie's Splendor. When you aren't wearing any armor, your base armor class equals 10 plus your dexterity and charisma modifiers. You can use a shield and still gain this benefit. You also gain proficiency in one of the following skills of your choice: acrobatics, intimidation, performance, or persuasion. So in the playtest, you could wear light armor, and then you get to add your charisma and dexterity modifier to your armor class, and you could wear a shield. So they nerfed it a bit, but I feel like that nerf is very appropriate. I feel like this ability is mostly if you want to have a more dexterity based paladin, or you specifically don't want to wear heavy armor so that you can be maybe a bit more stealthy. It's definitely a unique take on a paladin, but you'll definitely be able to get a similar AC with heavy armor. And if you notice in the art, the paladin has heavy armor on, so yeah. This subclass has a very loaded level 3. I could see a lot of people multi-classing with this paladin. All right, and then level 7, we get Aura of Elemental Shielding. Choose one of the following damage types: Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, or Thunder. You and your allies have resistance to that damage type while in your Aura of Protection. At the start of each of your turns, you can change the damage type affected by this feature to one of the other listed options. No action required. This is just great. These are damage types that come up pretty often, and the fact that you can, at the start of each of your turns, change the elemental damage type is really sweet. There are many times where you might be fighting some sort of caster and you're unsure of the spells that they have access to, and then, oh, you can see they use Fireball, so then you switch it to Fire because they're probably going to do it again. And yeah, so great little ability. Then we have level 15 Elemental Rebuke. This was nerfed a bit, but not much. It's still a really good ability. So when you are hit by an attack roll, you can take a reaction to have the attack's damage against yourself rounded down, and force the attacker to make a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, the attacker takes damage equal to 2d10 plus your charisma modifier. In the playtest, it was 4d10 plus your charisma modifier of one of the following damage types: your choice, acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. On a successful save, the attacker takes half as much damage. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. And then I don't care as much about level 20 capstone abilities for paladins, but we'll go ahead and read it, see how it is. Level 20 Noble Scion. As a bonus action, you gain the benefits below for 10 minutes or until you end them. No action required. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. You also restore your use of it by expending a level 5 spell slot. No action required. Light. You have a fly speed of 60 feet and can hover. Hovering is great. Minor Wish. When you or an ally in your protection fails a d20 test, you can take a reaction to make you or that ally succeed instead. That is super cool, especially for level 20. You're going to be dealing with a lot of stressful abilities being thrown on you and your party, and being able to automatically exceed a d20 test. Real nice. And you can do that every turn as long as Noble Scion is active. So that's very good capstone. Let me know what you guys think of this Paladin subclass. I really like it, and I think it's really good. It also puts some of the other subclasses to shame in this book, because there's some subclasses in this book that aren't super great, and I'll get to those eventually. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.